Welcome to Digital 100. I'm your host, Patrick Wagner, and this is episode number 9. 11 tips for securing your computer. So, what we found is most often than not, your weakest link is your computer, now more so your mobile device. And those are the ones that usually get hacked. Another front that has come about in the last, let's say, 5 years, 6 years, is that most likely your account information will be stolen from either the place you work or more likely somewhere that you shop online. So a Target, a Starbucks, or even maybe at one of your banks. So those are other spots we have to look for. But starting with your computer, I'm going to do an agnostic review, which means not specific to any OS. And these are things that you can do easy research on as well. So this number 1 is simple. Keep your operating system up to date, both mobile and whatever your computers are, and even more so on the server side. I would sign up for whatever your operating system is, go to the website, sign up for their newsletter, so if they have any updates, go to their Twitter handle and sign up for that so that you get updates if there are any security changes, and that way you can stay on top of them. It's very important. Number 2 is keep all your device software up to date. So any other applications and softwares that you use from, let's say, an Adobe PDF viewer or any software on your mobile device. Most of the apps that are being updated, a large majority are upgrades to the UI and interfaces for users, but even more so actually ends up becoming, security patches and bugs that are being included all the time. So update all of your apps. Tip number 3, make sure you create a restore point for a clean copy of your installation, as well as safe points in which you've made some changes to your system and you want to restore from there. And then make sure you have your backup installed. This process is really easy to do, especially if you create encrypted containers. All you have to do is take that file, transfer it over, and you're good to go. Install a paid antivirus software on all your devices. The key here is paid. There's a lot of free antivirus software. I'm okay with the trial stuff to start for 30 days, but always go with a paid option. What's happened in the last, let's say, even 5 to 10 years, there has been certain cases, and I'll give an example, like CC Cleaner was an awesome free software. It was paid as well, but there was a large portion of people that used it for free to help clean up systems, make them run faster. It was found to be operating obviously out of Russia, but there was some government influence in making it more of a state actor or state-sponsored actor. So in this case, you're going to see more and more of this happening out there, that some of the softwares that are available at a good price or new or from certain countries are going to look very attractive, and you're not going to know that these are state-sponsored actors that you have to be aware of. So make sure you get an antivirus from reputable companies operating in countries you can trust, and make sure you're going with paid options and not free stuff for this type of thing. Tip number 5, install a proactive security solution for multi-layered protection. Yeah, I don't know what the hell that means. The reality is it's just every layer takes away more of the possibilities of being attacked. So one of the layers would be antivirus, another layer would be malware protection, another layer would be keylogging, another layer would be your firewall, and it would continue and continue on there for different rule sets that you can do to safen your system. In this case, what you can do is buy softwares again that actually encompass all of these tools in one set. One of the ones that I recommend is emsisoft.com. Also, I recommend checking out the reviews of the software at bleepingcomputer.com. And just a shout out, if you want to check them out on Twitter, at thisisnuse, N-U-S-E, for the information, who I actually got this from and have been using it for a couple of years and have been enjoying it. Next, tip number 6, install an anti-malware, anti-keylogger software. So it's pretty simple. Malware is one of the worst problems out there. The next is some sort of a Trojan or software like a keylogger that's going to be installed on your computer. These happen when you're surfing websites, usually not standard websites. I'd have to say anything from like a BuzzFeed to clickbait to trashy or entertainment stuff. So I'd install something like a malwarebytes.com, hitmanpro.com, and check out qfxsoftware.com. And thanks to @notsofast for those recommendations. One of my mentors online, and some great software he recommended that he uses that I've been using as well for a few years, and I also recommend that. Tip number 7, back up your files like we were talking about. Cloud option is only if security is of zero concern, right? I would never use cloud for anything otherwise. Otherwise, find a way to make physical backups yourself. And like I said, if you're using proper encryption and have a proper container, it's easy to slide over a file and you're safe and you don't have to worry about this problem. So make that part of your process. Tip number 8, use standard accounts. Do not log in as administrator. Now this can happen a lot where if you don't really understand, but systems do have different levels for users. A standard user does not have access to, let's say, delete certain programs or make certain system changes, or even run certain softwares. An administrator has the ability to do anything, including destroy or repair a system. So making sure that these user account level settings are properly set up for whatever system you're on is very important. And that way you don't have to worry about certain softwares running as administrator level, or when you're logged in as administrator, that these things have access to certain things that you don't want them to. For Windows users, keep your user account control enabled. Tip number 9, secure your web browser before you go online. So make sure you use either Chrome or the Brave browser I just started using over the last few weeks. I'll report more on that. Great new little browser, very secure. And also, I think one of the tips in the next slide right here is make sure you see the HTTPS on the websites that you're going to. That, along with the secure browser, really does help. I also recommend for home users to get a Chromebook and then use a VPN for all your regular surfing. So I never, ever surf on any of my machines. I actually have a Chromebook set up for that type of surfing, and the same thing for family, and the VPNs are routing all of that as well, so they're safe. And I find the Chromebooks are really good for helping avoid a lot of those types of malwares and Trojans. Tip number 11, don't click on suspicious links or websites. This is honestly one of the biggest problems. That's why above I said get a separate computer like a Chromebook that you can trash if need be. But really, I've had them for years and they work fantastic. They're actually much better than most computers. So I highly recommend get yourself a $250 or $300 Chromebook. Hook that up to your router that has a VPN set up, and do only surfing, like casual entertainment watching. YouTube videos you can stream through VPN now just fine, but more so for like any of your other surfing, so that you can avoid the malware, all the different Trojans that are sitting around waiting for you. So these are the last recommendations. Optimize your your operating system. So do anything you can to enhance security. So do the searches on Google for your operating system specifically, and what you can do to up the security levels. Optimize the router security you have as well for your internet. Ensure you have your firewall, antivirus, anti-malware running. Encrypt your data, use a VPN, and secure your browser. For regular surfing, like I mentioned, get a Chromebook. Don't log in with any accounts on it, and just use a VPN instead. And I think this is kind of, again, just a good starting point for making your systems secure. Also keeping in mind all the previous videos that kind of add on all of these layers to help people be more secure, both with their data and what they're doing online, especially if you're heading towards being one of the self-banked or someone who is heading into the cryptocurrency industry. These are important layers that you need to put into place in order to be safe and secure when operating and taking on all the risks yourself. Thanks very much, everyone. Have a great day.